Welcome to the Information Broker and welcome to today's coaching video. Today I'm going to be talking about something a little bit ominous. It's about the sexual marketplace and the current state of, uh, you know, just females and where things are headed into the future. And I think I think these are quite ominous times. Because of, after the pandemic, I think everything changed. The economy changed. I think there's less incentive to work. A lot of people are like working from home. It's causing them to be more lazy. A lot of people, because of the stimulus checks, they're like, and unemployment checks that the government was generously giving, and just printing money, causing all this fucking inflation. I mean, people have no incentive to work, and if you went to Walmart or any like local store, you would see a few cute girls there in the past, but not anymore. Now they just sell their face online to OnlyFans or, like through Instagram. I mean, it's just a fucking mess. I don't know. I mean, even girls I cold approach. I mean, there were a few cute girls that I met. There was one girl in particular. There was one girl that I remember. She was like a 8.5, maybe a 9 out of 10 in terms of looks. She was a brunette, but she was really cute. But I mean, she was telling me, I was asking her, like, what do you do for work? And she's like, I'm a model. I was like, do you work with an agent? She's like, no. So she was probably on Instagram, and she had many followers. And I asked her, like, are you here most of the time? She's like, no, I live here. And she lived in like the shitty part of town, but she would be flown out like every weekend to like LA, Miami, Austin, Texas, Houston, Dallas, like, and these are like high value guys or rich guys that just spend money on her over the weekend. There was another girl that I met through cold approach, and I mean, she was a college student at a local university, and then, I mean, she was cute as hell, but I mean, she was not rich. She was quite, like, her family was financially like kind of broken, but I mean, we followed each other on Instagram, and she would go on these trips like Hawaii, Tennessee, Dallas, and then even like abroad, like Europe and stuff like that. And she'd take photos. I'm like, you can't afford that. But how do you think she affords it? It's like, the rich guys DM her, sugar daddies or whatnot, and then they go with, and then they buy tickets for not only them but also their friends. And it's just like, it's a fucking mess. The world is like, I don't know where the hell this shit is going, but it's a fucking like shit show. And I think in these times it's even more important because like now, because of Tinder and dating apps, Instagram, OnlyFans, like, oh, pretty girl, they don't have to work. They're like, instead of working 9 to 5 at a local like Walmart or something like that, Target, Starbucks, they're like, I'm gonna sell my body, and they don't have to work a day in their life. I think there's gonna be more of this trend where beauty and talent is going to be much more rewarded, and it's going to, and like, if a girl is like genetically gifted, like physically very attractive, and she didn't have to work for it, she can sell herself online, and I mean, she can get massive amounts of following, and I mean, she doesn't have to work a day in her life. So this beauty I think there's going to be a trend where beauty is going to be concentrated more and more toward the wealthy. It was always like that in the past, but now it's like on a global scale because of the internet. I don't know. It's a fucking mess. But I think during these times, it's absolutely fucking essential that as a red pill man, you have to be game savvy. You need to be experienced. You need to be exposed to female nature. You need to cold approach, and you have to understand, and you have to go on dates again and again. Like, I think as a man, you need to be able to go at least 10 dates a month, or at least one date a month, and you need to have at least like 50 dates under your belt, to understand female nature and counter it. Because I feel bad for most of the people that I personally feel bad for a lot of the people that before, because like I grew up in a time where social media was emerging. So I experienced a time when social media didn't exist, and were like, you know, guys that looked like, you know, threes and fours, like because they knew the game, like they could get like tens consistently. And I think this art is kind of disappearing, especially with social media, because now they don't care about the personality. All they do is look at the face. But if you still know this still, and you can stay stoic, and you can be grounded on who you are, and you have the skill set of game, and you can, like, you know your value intrinsically, and you can ignore a girl even though she's extremely hot, and you can see into her soul, and then evaluate her based on not only her physical appearance, but who she is as a person. Like, I mean, you won't ever simp for a girl, and that's immensely powerful in this day and age. Uh, and so, you know, you should always make sure to, I mean, make sure you are game savvy and game aware, and you do the fucking work, and you make the most of yourself, especially in this time, because competition is fierce. And I mean, you know, there's something called the Matthew principle, where it says, you know, if you have more, you will get more, and if you have less, you'll get less. And I think this divide between haves and haves not, especially, you know, not only in terms of wealth, but in terms of like attracting the opposite sex and knowing game, it also applies to that. So make sure you're game savvy. So that's gonna be it for today. But make sure you're game savvy and cold approach, and just get your feet wet, and just go and do it. Go and cold approach and experience life, and make the most of it, because if you don't use your time wisely, you're never going to get it back. So you might as well do it now. So that's going to be it for today. Please press the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.